say that. We all gonna be great, you better say that. Work out passion, not pay, you better say that. Oh yeah, you better say that, say that. Oh yeah, you better say that. Oh yeah, you better say that. You better say that. The best talk show, you better say that. Hello and welcome to the You Better Say That talk show. I'm your host, Alzata Florence, and I am so excited that you took the time to join us today. Today, our guest is none other than Coach Johnnie Harris, all the way from Auburn, Alabama, better known as Coach J. She is a head women's basketball coach at Auburn University. She has been coaching for over 20 years and 18 years at the national Division One level. One national championship, two national finalists, nine Sweet 16 appearances, a National Assistant Coach of the Year award, the Betty Ford Service Award, the Black History Difference Makers of the Year award. Wow, what a resume, Coach J. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me. This is amazing.
Well,
Thank you.
thank you. No, thank you. I'm so excited that you agreed to come and you want to sit down and just talk about what you do and how far you've come and where you started. And then not only that, but where you're going, right?
Absolutely, it's been an amazing journey, and I would say I would not be here if it wasn't for my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, because He put me on this path.
Come on now. You better say that. Anytime you want to say, you better say that. You can say that. Okay.
Okay.
But you know what? It is Him. He gives us the grace, He gives us the ability, and He gives us the talent to do what we do. And always grateful for God, because He's
Absolutely.
been faithful to us, and we have to turn around and be faithful to Him, because
Absolutely.
He has plans for us, and evidently He has plans for you.
Yes, and His plan was
Mhm.
not my plan.
Come on now.
But I am just so grateful that I had a mother and father that instilled in me and taught me how to understand when the Lord is calling, and knowing that you have to answer. You don't have to, but
Uh-huh.
you need to answer. If you want to fulfill your destiny, you need to answer.
You better
So,
say that, girl. You talking good. Now I'm about to get teary-eyed over here. That is so important, and I think that parents should make sure that they instill that in their children growing up, because they need a foundation to stand on, a foundation to build on. And they took the time to direct you and guide you and make sure that God was embedded in your heart when you went away to school, when and then as you was able to, as you began to enter life, you had that foundation, and you built on that.
absolutely.
My son, he played college football, but when he was in the ninth grade at Opelika High School, I had a vision. Matter of fact, someone was doing my hair. I think it was Cassandra. She was doing my hair, and I dozed off and went into a sleep, and I went into a vision, and I saw him in the ninth grade now playing college football.
Wow.
Yeah, and so I knew that that was God's plan for him. And so God would
That's
just
awesome.
direct you, and He'll lead you in the way that He wants you to go. And He has a future and a hope for us. So He was able to walk that out. And coming up to his senior year in high school football, I was just praying, okay, God, you have this plan for him. Where do you want him to go? And in prayer one day, I heard God say, I thought what He said was Knoxville, but come to find out later, as we went through the recruiting process, it was in Clarksville, which was Austin P State University.
Okay.
We never heard of, but it was in Clarksville. So I knew that Ville was there. And so
Hmm.
this is it. And we went to visit, and that was the rest was history. But he was in the will of God, and that's the plan that God has for him. So that's very important.
It is very important, and it's really important that God put the right people around you to be successful, even when there's doubters, even when you doubt yourself. He
Yes.
put the right people in place
Uh-huh.
to make sure that you're able to fulfill that destiny.
Exactly. Well, I can't wait to hear about this journey that God has Miss Coach Jay on. So let's dive in. So just tell us a little bit about yourself, where you grew up, your high school, where did you attend college, and your family. Just a little bit about your
Born and
family.
raised in Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Okay. What?
Small, yeah, uh, small city in Pine Bluff. Um, it was I went to school at Watson Chapel High School. I grew up in a very very humble. I had very humble beginnings. So,
Mm-hmm.
but the thing that we always had is we all I had a praying. I mean, I had a mom who get in the closet and pray. So,
That's my girl then.
yeah, mustard seed faith having mom. That was my mom, and so we always had lot of love. So when you have that much love around you,
Yes.
you don't know about things weren't as important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But once you grow up, you realize, oof, we didn't
We
have
didn't have
anything
nothing.
growing up. But it was okay. I
Mhm.
would not trade my background for anything.
Yes.
But I went to school and played basketball, and as much as my mom, I knew she loved me, she had my back and all of that, but
Mm-hmm.
she never got a chance to come and see me play. Even as a coach, she didn't get a chance to see me play, but I know she was praying for me. I know she was
Yes.
supporting me.
Mm-hmm.
um, and the same with my dad. They never got a chance to see. I had older parents,
Uh-huh.
and but I was very well supported, even though they were not there
Okay, very good.
physically.
Uh-huh.
So
Uh-huh.
yeah, played basketball
So did you
in
play in high
Pine.
school as well?
I did play in. I played basketball in high school. I ran track in high school. As a
Okay.
matter of fact, I am in my high school Hall of Fame for both basketball and track.
Isn't that wonderful?
Yes,
What an
yeah. So
accomplishment.
pretty successful.
Uh-huh.
And then I went to started out at college in right there in Pine Bluff.
At
Or I
home.
started
Mm-hmm.
out. The summer after high school, I got a job because I really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
My parents weren't together. They
Uh-huh.
were both in Pine Bluff, but they weren't together. But
Sure.
and my mom had a disability, so I just felt like I needed to work and try to help
Mm-hmm.
her
Take
out a
the
little
load
bit.
off.
So I was in school part time and working part time,
Okay.
and then I eventually went full time. And got on the track team, and then I got on the basketball team. So, but I ended up graduating from Arkansas Baptist in Little Rock. Played 2 years there,
Okay.
won the first and only championship in Arkansas Baptist history. Yeah, we were in AIA school,
Mm-hmm.
so won that only championship
Oh
there.
wow. Powerful.
And then I ended up going to grad school at UALR, which
Uh-huh.
is how I got into coaching. So,
Okay. Okay. So
and
that was the foundation of
that
it.
was the
So was it
foundation.
a love or a interest or passion or just something that was instilled in you that made you want? What was it that made you want to coach?
To be honest with you, my love for basketball and getting into coaching was probably my high school coach,
Yeah,
because he and his family were more than
coaching.
coaches. They
Mm.
they were like an extended family.
Mm.
Like I didn't have, my school was a long ways away,
Oh,
and
was it?
they would pick me up. Sometime I would, go to their house
Hmm.
after school when we had a game, when I couldn't get back home and back to
Sure.
the gym. And
Yes.
his wife was, I mean, she was so welcoming, just the sweetest person. And then his kids were, his
Your
daughter was
siblings
my
in the sense.
teammates. Yeah.
Exactly.
So just having that person, my high school
Hmm.
coach helped me get my first job, which
Oh.
helped me get my first car. So he was more than a
Mm.
coach. He was somebody that really cared about his players. So when I was called to be a basketball coach, um, that did play a big part into it.
I am in tears over here
Okay.
because it's important that we have people in our lives to help us along the way,
Absolutely.
especially when it's needed.
Yes.
And God just aligned those people to help you to get to where you are today. Just think
Yes.
if you had not had coach, his wife, to help you to get back and forth to school, you could have been a dropout. You could have lost hope.
Yes.
You could have got discouraged and went into a depression or anything and
Anything.
just gave up.
Yeah.
You
And it
know,
was tough.
it was. I was just fixing to say. I know that it had to be hard. And with your mom and dad not being together, mama probably had to work and take care of everything at the house. and then, but she still allowed you to go and chase your dream and do what
Absolutely.
you needed to do and
Yeah.
even wanted to do, and
Yeah.
at that age, I'm sure in high school, you wasn't for sure where basketball was going to take you,
No.
but it was instilled in you, and your
Mhm.
mentor, in a sense, your coach, your mentor, kind of guided you through that, and you saw what he
Yeah.
did for you,
Hmm.
and you wanted to give back,
Right.
pay it forward.
And to be honest with you, when I went to grad school,
Hmm.
I volunteered with the basketball program. Um, I did not want to be a coach at
Wow.
that point.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to be an accountant.
Oh,
Like
you good with
I
that money,
love
Miss
math.
Johnny?
I love math. I was doing taxes. I
Oh,
was
what?
yeah. So
Oh my goodness.
that was what I wanted to do. I graduated with a business degree. I wanted to open accounting
Oh,
business,
wow.
and that's what I wanted to do. And I was
Hmm.
approached, but one way that I always gave back was I would work out kids in my neighborhood,
Okay.
and I would find ways to help keep them motivated
Hmm.
because my coach found ways to help me. So
Hmm.
I would pick out the kid that was the most likely to not make it, and
Yes.
I would tell them, if you don't get in trouble for a week, because 2 weeks was going to be a stretch,
Right.
but don't get in trouble this entire week,
Oh my
I will
goodness.
take you to a UAPB game. And
Yes, that was
those
huge for
games,
them.
and we would sit right by the band, and it may take every dime I had to get him there, but I
Yes.
was going to get him there, and I was
Mm,
going to take a friend with him so
that's
he can
right.
really enjoy himself.
Oh yeah.
So I used to do that, and take kids to games. I used to work out kids. I would rent out a space in gym, take them, work them out, and then I was working out this one young lady, and she had a lot of talent. So
Hmm.
I wanted to, I called some coaches,
Hmm.
some
Hmm.
junior college NIA,
Wow.
to
Yeah.
see if I could get her a tryout.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
I called this one coach, and we met him at a restaurant, and in the middle of the conversation he said, "Hold it, who are you?"
Oh
And I was like,
wow.
I'm nobody. She didn't have the mom that could do that for her, and
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
don't think she knew
Yeah.
her dad at that time. But
Wow.
um I was like, I'm nobody. I'm just trying to help her get in school. She's
Yeah.
really good, and
Hmm.
it'll be worth your time if you would.
Yes.
And he said, well,
Wow.
I don't know if she's any good at all. His name is Lewis Horton.
Okay.
He passed away a couple of years ago, but
Okay.
he said, I want you. He
Oh
said,
my
I
goodness.
have a position coming open on my staff,
Staff.
and I would love for you to come and be one of my assistants, because you'll be a heck of a recruiter.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I
Look
was
at
like,
God.
no, sir, thank you. I want
What?
to be an accountant. I know what to expect with numbers.
That's right.
So,
Not coaching.
like, I know 1+1 is always going to be two. I don't
Yes.
know. These girls, you never know what you're going to get.
That's
So,
right.
no, sir, thank you. And so,
Mm.
anyway, I went home, and I told my mom, and she was like, well, what if that's what God has for you?
Oh
And
my
I was like, first of
goodness.
all, I have a soft voice, and I do. I
Yeah,
was
you
like,
do.
and I didn't, and I looked at leadership
Hmm.
as being, and
Brutal.
this is me at the time. I'm thinking, leadership has to be, tough
Yeah.
and loud and
Yeah.
yelling and screaming, and that's not who I was.
Hmm.
And I was like, I'm number one, if I'm gonna recruit these kids, I have to be a leader. Well,
Yes.
I didn't feel like I
It was
was
a
a leader,
leader.
so I wasn't gonna be in that. And my mom
Wow.
sit me
What
down.
did
She was
Mama
like,
say?
my mom said, do you remember when you were 12 years old and you
Uh-huh.
were going to be a Sunday school teacher, and pastor told you were going to be Sunday school teacher
That's
over
right.
the little kids?
That's right.
And she was like, what did you do? So long
Wow.
story short is I didn't have any, it wasn't very many young kids in there for me to
Yes.
teach, but I was very
Yes.
competitive.
That's right.
And so back
Okay. Very
then,
good.
you had the banners that you
Mm.
got for attendance. You had the
Yes.
banners that you got
Yep.
for offering.
Uh-huh.
And so
Uh-huh.
if you had the most attendance, you would
Yeah.
get that banner. If
That's
you had the
right.
most offering, you would get that banner. So I
Exactly.
was like, you know what? If I got to do this, I'm gonna get
Get
one of
them
them banners. I
banners.
had to figure
Get
out how to
all
get
of
one of
them.
them banners. So I went around the neighborhood,
Uh-huh.
and I asked people if their kids could come to Sunday school. And so I got this big group to Sunday school, and I still did not get it. The old people
What?
still got got the
Now
banner.
the
They
old
got
people
both.
got it.
They got it, and then I was like,
I
"What do
love
I
it.
have to do to get more kids?"
Right.
So then the next week,
Wow.
I would always go and do things for people, so they would pay me a little change. So
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
earned some money the next week. I went and got those big cookies.
Yes.
Those
Oh
cookies
yeah.
you could
For
get
like
two
for
for a nickel.
yes, yes. The
And
big
so I
windmill
got
cookies. I remember
I,
those.
I got those cookies, and I let them see it. So on Friday before school was out, I was like, okay, we're gonna have these cookies at Sunday
Uh-huh.
school. So
Right.
they started telling people, and then that next Sunday, I had a big my class was
Packed
huge,
out.
and we got that banner. So then I was thinking, now I'm 12.
That's
And
right.
so then
Oh
I
my
was thinking,
goodness.
okay, I got all these people in church. What am I going to do?
Dude,
So I
yeah.
turned them into a choir. We did programs. We did Easter
Oh my
programs, and it
goodness.
was just the most amazing thing. And I was leading it, and my mom said, "That is a leader.
That's exactly right.
That's a leader.
With the
That's a
small
teacher,
voice.
and you're very competitive." And she
Yes.
said, "This is what she told me that was very impactful.
Hmm.
You don't have to be like anybody else. You don't have to sound like anybody else. You don't have to talk like anybody else. You don't have to yell like anybody else. You don't have to coach like anybody
That's
else."
right.
She said, "You open your mouth, and if this is what God has for you,
Hmm.
He's gonna direct you through it, and you will be just as successful being you."
Hmm.
So I have a lot of people now saying, "You never yell, you never do this," and I do.
Yeah.
Now I
Yeah.
don't know
Yeah.
where it come from, but when I get mad, they
It
know
comes
it.
up a little bit.
But what I have learned is to stay true to
Who you
myself,
are.
and I let
Yes.
him lead. So when I get and when I get in a tight and there's
Hmm.
something that I don't understand, or
Hmm.
something that I think is not fair,
Hmm.
or whatever, I go to him. I
Right.
fast. I
Yes.
had a fast this year during
Yes.
my season, and
Yes.
when I tell you it turned out the way
It needed to.
it needed to
Yeah.
turn out.
Yeah.
So that's where you know I guess that love, and that's where my mom,
Hmm.
I really believe, helped guided me. My mom was, like I said, that
A solid
mustard
rock.
seed, having faith. Now my dad, he had the soft voice. I got
Hmm.
my soft voice
Okay.
from him.
Hmm. Hmm.
He had a sweet, humble spirit. So like
Oh.
both of my parents, I never heard either of my parents curse. I never saw them drink,
Wow.
any of
What
that.
amazing. That's
And my
amazing.
dad lived to be 95, and my mom lived to be 92. So
Oh wow.
when I say, yeah, I had, God put some amazing people in my life.
Hmm.
He
Hmm.
did. He
Yes, he
absolutely
did.
did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you go back to what you did for the young lady. You took her there to make sure that she had, an opportunity,
Hmm.
but the opportunity came for you as well.
Yes.
And the Bible says what you make happen for someone else, God will make happen for you.
Hmm.
So as you was making that happen for her, God was making it happen for you
Yeah.
to start you on your journey. Isn't that amazing?
It is.
And
And that lady, I mean, she went on to win a national championship in junior college.
the young girl that you
Very,
took to
very
what?
successful.
Look at
Yes.
God.
And then went on to college. So I'm really proud. I keep in touch with her
Uh-huh.
till today.
Oh
So
wow.
yeah.
That is
Yeah.
amazing. That
And
what a
then one of
story.
the young men that I was taking to the football game,
Mm-hmm.
he graduated with a master's from Arkansas, and he heard that I was packing up to move from Mississippi State to go to University of Texas, and he
Mm-hmm.
called
Mm-hmm.
me, and he was like, "I just wanted to let you know, I never would have even known what a college was if you didn't take me on campus." And he
Wow.
was like, "That made me want to do it." And and then he let me know he was graduating with his
Oh
master's,
my
and
goodness.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's what give me pleasure
Mm-hmm.
from
Mm-hmm.
doing this,
Mm-hmm.
seeing them successful.
Right. And it's not about. It is about us, but it's not about us.
No, not
It's
at all.
what we can do for someone else. What?
Yeah.
How can we impact someone else's life? How can we help change someone else's life? And then I like what you said about you would go into the community, but you would find the person that would least be successful, that you thought would be the least had, opportunity. Because some kids have mom, dad, money, and
Mm-hmm.
everything, but you
Mm-hmm.
went for those that didn't have the whole package,
Mm-hmm.
the least
Yeah.
and then to help them to get where they need to.
Yeah,
That is
you know
just,
them bad kids. I get,
them baby kids, the baby
yeah,
kids.
yeah. Nobody really
Mhm.
want to deal with them. That's
Yeah,
who I want to deal with.
that's right. Come on now, the underdogs.
Yeah, and I guess I'm competitive like that because
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna figure
But it
it out.
showed up in Sunday
Yeah,
school, right?
it did. It
I
did.
love it. I love it. So just tell us a little bit about your collegiate basketball journey. We've probably talked about some of that, but
Hmm.
if you want to just add a little something in it, because this is just so good to me. I tell you, I'm enjoying it. So go ahead, tell us a
Yeah,
little
so
bit
like I
about it.
said, I went and I was running track,
Hmm.
AUAPB, and then I joined the basketball team. But
Hmm.
that team was already really put together,
Okay.
so I didn't really get much opportunity. But
Hmm.
then we played against a team in Little Rock, Arkansas Baptist College, and they
Okay.
were an NAIA team, and that coach. After the season, actually, my best friend was gonna go and she had a scholarship there,
Okay. Uh-huh.
and I went there with her. I actually took her
Okay.
there, and I asked if there was another scholarship opportunity, and we got on the court, and
Wow.
he was like, absolutely. And so the rest is history. Like I said,
Yeah.
we went there, ended up winning a championship there,
Uh-huh.
and I ended up playing. I ran track there.
Hmm.
I played softball there
What you,
and
Miss Johnny? You
basketball.
have
So
done it all.
yeah, I've done it all. I was quite the athlete, and
Hmm.
um, I was blessed to have athletic ability, but
Yes.
but
Yes.
but really it was that coach was a
Hmm.
lot like the coach that I had in high school.
Yes.
So I just felt like that was home. And
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
he he just helped me. And I mean, he every once in a while now he still call me
Uh-huh.
and check on me, and
That's good.
you could tell that he's very proud.
Hmm.
So
Lasting
um
relationships.
absolutely.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that was pretty much my
Journey.
collegiate journey.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. So, how did basketball shape you into the woman and the coach that you are today?
Ooh,
How do you feel like it changed your life and shaped you and molded you? Because you're successful.
yeah.
This is my first time spending this much time with you, but I see greatness. I see how you got to where you are today.
Well, I would say, like I said, when you grow up and I say humble, but we
Hmm.
were poor.
Hmm.
When you grow up like that, and then you go to school, you have people, you have the haves and the have not. But when you're
Sure.
on the basketball court, it
Hmm.
doesn't matter.
That's right.
Like you
Come
it
on now.
doesn't matter.
You
Like
better say that.
you can have all the money in the world, but
Hmm.
if you're not as gifted, whoever is gifted in
Hmm.
track, whoever is
Yes,
gifted,
that's right.
they're the ones that's gonna play. You're gonna shine.
Hmm.
You're gonna make beautiful magic.
That's right.
So
Hmm.
so basketball
Hmm.
was a way out of that.
That's right. Oh
It
wow.
was a way out of that.
Hmm.
And I was able to go out there, and I was able to shine on the court, and
Yes.
probably would have went a little bit further had I had a little bit more backing.
Hmm.
But I really feel like I was where I was
Need to
supposed to
be.
be. Yeah.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm. Hmm.
um, that's just how it shaped me.
Yeah.
It just made me realize that, um, you know, there's more. It didn't matter. You don't have to be rich to be able to be on a big
Exactly. No,
stage.
you do not.
Um,
No.
and to always be appreciative,
Hmm.
and
Grateful.
my mom, like I said, she was praying and mustard seed and
Hmm.
having faith.
Hmm.
And my dad was the one that used to say, faith is good. My dad was a Christian.
Hmm.
Faith is good, but God is not going to throw a loaf of bread out the sky. You
You
got to go
already
to
know.
work.
You
You
got
got
to
to
go
go
to
to
work
work.
because you don't work, you don't eat. I
And if
like
I could
daddy.
go back right now, I would say you better say
Say
that.
that.
but but
Oh
yeah,
my
so
goodness, that's good.
but he that was one of the things that he
Mhm.
instilled in me, that
Yes,
you go out and work,
you do.
and you can be successful, and
Hmm.
can't nobody, what God has for you is for you. Can't
Take it.
nobody stop that. So
No, exactly.
yeah.
Wow. Well, you have been, between mom and dad and basketball and the coaches and the mentor, they have really poured into you, and then the plan that God has instilled in you, you have become an awesome woman of God. Yes, and a coach. So why? But why coaching? What was it about? What is it about coaching that compel you to just continue to do what you do?
Like I said, giving back, making sure that these young women have an opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
because it gave me an opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
And it, and when I started coaching as an assistant, when you're assistant, you're in charge of academics and
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
other little things. You're in charge of recruiting. So when I
Mm-hmm.
got hired, it was,
Recruiting.
first thing, it was recruiting.
Okay.
But academics was also important,
Yes.
because these women, they don't get that. You're not going to get out of college and get $1 million
It's
just like
no.
that. So you have to be able to have something to rely on.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
just making sure that that they were equipped
Mm-hmm.
when they
Very
did
good.
leave.
Yeah.
When they did leave, making sure that they were professional,
Mm-hmm.
both on and off the court. So
Very good. Very
yeah.
good. Yeah. We're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
You better say that. The best talk show, you better say
Hey, Auburn family. This is Coach Jay from Women's Basketball. I want to personally thank you for everything you did for Auburn Women's Basketball this past season. You guys were phenomenal. The energy, the excitement you brought into that arena just make our players want to play harder, want to go harder, and we want to do more this upcoming season. So please come out, support your women's basketball. They are working very hard for you, and we're going to put a good product on the floor, and we're going to be ready. So I hope you're ready. We love you, War Eagle.
you better say that.
Welcome back. And we're going to continue with our special guest, Coach Jay. And then that mentorship, showing them the way, because a lot of times when you have young women coming from, like you said, maybe a broken home or a bad situation, but they was able to make it to high school, they was able to make it to college, and they need that mother figure, they need that leadership figure, and I feel like that's what you've been to a lot of people, because sometimes coaches become the dad, if it's a male, or a mom, a big sister,
Mm-hmm.
if it's a male, if it's a female. But so mentorship in a sense, to kind of help um, guide them in a
Yes.
sense, for life.
Absolutely, and that's important. That's why it's very important who you put around. So
Yes.
your assistant coaches, your trainers, it
Very.
is very important
Mhm.
that all of those people share the same vision that you
Yes.
share,
Amen.
and that you're putting good people around your
Mhm.
players.
Very good. So,
Mhm.
what does it mean to be um, Auburn's head coach women basketball?
You know, it's amazing. This
Uh-huh.
is my first head coaching job,
Yes.
and here's the thing: I've never applied for a job.
Excuse me.
No, I haven't. I didn't apply for this one. Like I got a phone call.
Oh my
So
goodness.
I've never applied for a job. So when I tell you
Wow.
that this is it, I just knew that this was the place that I was supposed to be.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't even sure that I was gonna get this job. They
Sure.
called me and asked me if I would talk to the AD. This was on a Tuesday night after
Wow.
we lost in the Elite Eight. We were
Mm-hmm.
in we were in the NCAA tournament, and I had a message on my phone to call the search firm,
Mm-hmm.
and I called, and she asked me if I was interested in talking to them,
Uh-huh.
and they wanted to talk the next day
Wow.
at 1 o'clock.
They were in a hurry, like, okay,
Yeah,
we
and
need
so
somebody like right now.
yeah, and so we were in the second game that night. So it was we started playing late,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know, it was late when I got the phone call.
Uh-huh.
This was the year that everybody was in San Antonio, so we were in the bubble. So
Yes.
then once you lose, you have to leave.
That's right.
So we had to feed our kids after the game. We had
Wow.
media first, then we had
Mm-hmm.
to feed our kids, then we had to pack up,
Yes.
and then drive the bus back to Austin. And so I don't know, we got there wee hours of in the
In
morning,
morning.
and
Mm-hmm.
then we had meetings the next day,
Mm-hmm.
starting at 8 o'clock
Wow.
with our players.
Uh-huh.
So we got done with those meetings at 1, and my interview was at 1:30. So I
No.
had no time to prepare for it.
Oh my goodness.
So I was like, you know what, I don't, I really didn't think
Yeah.
that I, but I felt like it would be a good opportunity to interview.
Exactly. No doubt.
So, well, I got on. I let them know that
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have an opportunity to prepare for this,
Mm-hmm.
but so what they were going to give was raw, authentic.
That's right. Exactly. Hey.
and we had a conversation, and just from that very first conversation with them, I just knew, like, I felt really good about it.
Mm-hmm.
And then that night, the lady from the search firm called me back, and she said, they loved you. I was like,
Wow.
really?
What?
Because I mean, we talk like we're
It's
talking
talking
now,
right
and
now.
it was on Zoom.
Yeah. Wow.
So then they asked if I would get back on the phone with them on Zoom the
Mm-hmm.
next day. I got on Zoom the next day. And after that, he said, I need you to talk to my president tomorrow, and if he give me
Wow.
the blessing, I want to name you the next head coach.
And
And
the
so
rest is history.
that's how it happened.
That is totally amazing. So you
Yes.
know that that was God ordained.
Yep.
Mm.
And I know it was God ordained, because before that, when I first went to Texas,
Mm-hmm.
um, I I said a prayer, and sometimes, and this may be a little bit different, but
Mm-hmm.
I talk to God like He's right here,
Of course.
and I was like, look,
He's right here and
I
right here.
am not putting myself out there, because
Right.
I had interviewed somewhat of an interview
Okay.
at Mississippi State, where I had been for 9 years,
Yes. Oh my
and
goodness.
I wasn't really pleased how that ended up,
Mm-hmm.
but I said, I'm not putting myself out there.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah.
you don't send me a job, I'm not going. So I'm gonna
Ooh.
be right here with Vic. And
Mm-hmm.
Vic Schaefer is the head coach at Texas, and
Okay.
he's like my brother. And I
Yes.
was like, I'm gonna be
And
right
I'm
here. And, and,
satisfied
and
right
you know
here.
what? He prepared me.
Yeah.
So when I said I didn't do all the homework, and
Sure.
I didn't have time to do all of that,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it was because Vic Schaefer had already prepared me
Exactly.
for that moment. Not that I was out looking for a job,
Mm-hmm.
but I had
Mm-hmm.
been in that position,
For 8 years or so.
for the whole time I was with him, for
Wow.
9 years.
For 9 years.
So
Wow.
and 5 at Texas A&M as assistants
Wow.
before that. So
Uh-huh.
the
He
whole
was
time
already
we were
prepared.
together, he was preparing me
Mm-hmm.
for that.
Isn't that
And
something?
yeah, yeah. So long story short,
Mm-hmm.
they offered me the job. I felt
Uh-huh.
like it was the perfect place. It needed
Yes.
rebuilding, and
Mm-hmm.
so now you can put your own stamp on it.
That's right. Yeah. You have
And-
stamped it.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And then God has validated you. You came, you turned the program around, you're doing a great job, and your spirit is just amazing. I see why you got the job. I'm
thank you,
serious. I
thank
see
you.
it. So what are some of your core values that you are using to help shape the team for life after basketball? What are some of your core values?
So we wrap our core value up in the word tough,
Mm-hmm.
and I come from programs where you have to be tough.
Yes.
Okay, and but toughness doesn't just mean physical
Sure.
toughness. You have to be tough, hard nosed, physical, and aggressive to be able
Yes.
to play. To be
Mm-hmm.
able to play in the SEC, but to be
Yes.
able to play at this level,
Mm-hmm.
you have to be there. But you also have to be there. So we talk about the T in tough as being tough, hard nosed, physical, and aggressive.
Uh-huh.
And that doesn't mean we're out there. We just want to be out there fouling people
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
doing all that.
Mm-mm.
To get to your right spot,
Sure.
to be able to take a charge, all
Yes.
of that, you have to be tough. You have to
Yes.
be aggressive,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
physical, to
Yes.
do all of that.
And mentally.
You have to be tough to take the right shot. You have to be tough to
Yes.
go up to the free throw line and make a shot. So
Mm.
that's tough. That's the T. The
Mm-hmm.
O is on this, and we use on this because and my players, the first thing they wanted to say, well, why didn't you say ownership? Like, that's just easy. Why you say own this?
On this.
And what I told them is, like, you own, like, you have a pair of shoes in your
Yes.
closet that you own, that you probably hardly ever look at. But when you have an ownness of
Come
something,
on now.
that's something that you're gonna fight for. That's
That's it.
something, and I want you to
Mm.
have an
Mm.
ownness of Auburn, have an
Mhm.
ownness of Auburn women's basketball,
That's right.
of this program.
Uh-huh.
You're gonna love
Own
it.
it.
You're gonna fight of each other.
Mhm.
You're gonna
Mhm.
love it. You're gonna fight for it. You're gonna do
Yes.
everything you can
That's
to
right.
make sure it's up at the forefront and that it is taken care of. So we're
Yes.
gonna have an ownness.
Okay.
And then the U is for unbreakable bond.
Oh, I
And
love that.
our unbreakable bond is there are gonna be some tough days.
Mm.
There are gonna be some tough days ahead.
Mhm.
And you have to stick together. You have to
Yes.
be together. When somebody's on that floor, I
Mhm.
need the other four going over there picking them up.
That's
Not
right.
just walking over there, rushing over there to
Yeah.
them to pick
Yeah.
them up.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that your bond it stays right here. And we
Mm.
do a lot to create that,
Mhm.
a lot of team building stuff
That's
to
good.
create that. But we want them to have
Mhm.
that bond.
That's good.
Uh,
Unbreakable.
and the G,
Mhm.
the G is for giving.
Oh
So
yeah.
I am big on service.
Come
I'm
on now.
big on sacrifice. Like you have to be, you have to be tough
Mhm.
to be able to just get out in the community and give
Yeah.
and do. After a game when you're tired, you done played all those minutes, but you got a little kid or any person coming up to you wanting a picture, wanting an autograph,
Mhm.
to stand there, to smile, to love it, to
Yes.
appreciate them for
Yes.
coming there. You have to you have to be given to be able
Mhm.
to do that, to
Mhm.
serve each other,
Come on
to take
now.
a charge for each other. You
Yes.
have to be given. So
Mhm.
that's and then the H is for honesty.
Honesty.
And that's the humbleness, that's the integrity that you
Mhm.
have
Mhm.
for the name on the front of your chest as well as the name on the back. Like
That's right.
you have to have that. And
Mhm.
you just gotta protect.
Mhm.
This is yours. This is your school.
Yes.
This is your program.
That's right.
So you have to make sure you treat it with integrity. You treat
Mhm.
it's what you're doing when I'm not watching.
Right.
It's
Exactly.
easy to do
Character.
right and do the right things or
Mhm.
tell me you're doing the right things, but what are you doing literally when
Uh-huh.
we're not watching you?
That's right. That's right.
So
That's
that's that.
good.
That's
And
that
that's
honesty.
those are words to live by.
They
You
are
know.
words to live by. I have to
Mhm.
tell them all the time.
Mhm.
This is not a. We were.
Yo,
I have my
yeah.
armband
Okay.
on right now. They have
Okay.
tough, and it
Okay.
tells them who are we.
Let them
We're
see.
tough.
We're tough.
Who are we? And we're tough. And
Awesome.
it's just not what we say. It's just
Mhm.
not something that you write on the
Yes.
board or that you
Yes.
write on the wall. This is who you have to be
Mhm.
every
Mhm.
day. You
Mhm.
have to be there every day.
That's right.
And I tell them all the time is if you're not going to be disciplined off the court, you're not going to be disciplined
On
on
the
the
court.
court.
That's it.
So we have to get started off the
Very
court.
good. And then,
Yeah.
like you said, those are words to live by.
Mhm.
Those words can take you in your job after college, family,
Mhm.
friendship. To be successful because you have to be all of those things in life.
Absolutely.
In
And
life.
that's why I said it's very important who you put our players around.
Mm-hmm.
So who
Mm-hmm.
we put around our players.
Mm-hmm.
My assistants,
Uh-huh.
my coaches,
Yes.
they are, and not just my coaches, my entire staff.
Staff. Mm-hmm.
When we have something at my house, my entire staff is there.
Mm-hmm.
They're coming, they're pouring into our players,
Yes.
both on and off the court. But I have our players. One thing that I do is I have our players to come and sign my door every day.
Oh wow.
So, and by coming to sign my door, we get to see them outside of basketball.
Mm-hmm.
We get to, they come in, they sit on the couch,
Yes.
they get loved on outside of
Oh,
basketball. They get to
awesome.
talk to somebody that may not be their position coach
Mm-hmm.
on
Mm-hmm.
the court. So, and they know that every coach in there
Mm-hmm.
care about them.
Wow. That's
But they
mean.
also, we teach our players to be tough, to do extra, to do
Yeah, go
more,
the extra mile.
and so they see our coaches doing that. They see how they work. They see how they're, in their recruiting. They see
Mm-hmm.
how hard they go for them. So,
Yes.
they're modeling the behaviors that we teach them every day
Oh
on the
wow.
court.
Mm,
So, and I think it's really important that they
it
see
is.
what a professional is doing
Yeah.
in the workplace. Like
Exactly.
these coaches, they don't just show up at the game looking all
That's right.
cute. And I
Yeah.
have my coaches, they look good at the
They
game. I'm
what you
telling you.
say, girl?
But
They were cute, cute, cute. We went to the LSU game,
oh yeah,
and I tell you, they were dressed to the nine. They
yes,
had on their stilettos,
they're
and they had on their
always
jeans, and
dressed. Yeah,
they had their hair laid to the side. They were actually,
always.
that was a class
Yeah.
act, class act.
So and I don't want them to get it twisted. Just
Yeah.
because they're
They're
beautiful,
cute.
they're beasts on that court. And they work hard, and they
Yes,
work
they do.
extremely
Mhm,
hard. And
mhm.
three of my players, three of my coaches played for me.
Oh, what?
So yeah, so they have instant credibility, and they've all
Wow.
won championships at some
Yes.
level, and so they know
Mhm,
what it takes to get there. So
mhm,
you
mhm.
can't come to them and say, "Coach is crazy. Like we shouldn't be doing." Oh
Oh,
yeah,
no.
you can do it. You want to win. You
Okay.
got to do this.
That's right.
So
I love
they
it.
have that credibility. I
Mhm.
haven't. I was blessed with the staff I had. Coach Fred
Yes.
coached in the W.
Mhm.
He won two championships at the
Wow.
collegiate level.
Okay.
So they are surrounded by champion. Coach Stu,
Yes.
she has been a head coach, and she's
Okay.
my director of op. Tracy played there.
Yeah.
Renisha played there.
What?
DQ. He was our GA, but now he's my video coordinator.
Oh,
Just
wow.
amazing.
Mm.
Just my entire
Yeah.
staff. Even my administrative assistant, she is more, and she's so much more than that, because she
Yeah.
poured more into them than that. We have Connor, who is in my office, and he does all the video
Uh-huh.
that you see on social media. So he
Yes.
does the video. Now, he and Teresa, they do
Okay.
the video, the pictures.
Mm-hmm.
They sell our program.
That's right.
They tell our story. So
Yes.
all of that
Oh,
is
wow.
important in how they pour into
Mm-hmm.
their players,
Mm-hmm.
and they all go the extra mile. So
That's awesome.
just having them
Mm-hmm.
around them, so they can see, um, you know, they can see what it's like,
Right. And what it looks like, what it's supposed to
what
be
it
like.
looks like.
Because, the Bible says, with love and kindness have I drawn thee.
Hmm.
And just listening to you talk about your staff and how they pour and how they give and how they exemplify, how things are supposed to be done. And then love the kids, you love the young ladies,
Hmm.
and love is an action word.
It is.
And they see that, they not only hear it, but they receive it. And that makes them, when you have love, no matter where you are, it makes you want to go harder. It makes you
Hmm.
want to go further.
Right.
It makes you want to do more. So
Absolutely.
it sounds like to me that the program is full of love,
It is.
full of love.
It is.
And it just exudes from you as well.
Mhm.
So, and I always say, what's on the head falls down to the body.
Right.
Am I right about it?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. You
then
better say that.
you better say that. That's it. So what's on the head falls to the body. So
Mhm.
you're the head.
Yeah.
And you brought people, like I said, around your girls and around, your teammate, your team, your players, that that runs down
Mhm.
into your staff and onto the girls.
And they're starting to understand,
Mhm.
and sometimes when you're on the court, it's
Mhm.
very intense.
Mhm.
And
Yeah, I can imagine
sometimes
so.
when you're not making layups, I'm probably not gonna say, "Baby girl, you need to go make that
That's
layup."
right.
I'm
Get out there.
yeah, but
Oh, I
they're
seen you in
they're
action, Miss
starting
Johnnie.
they're starting to understand that that's because I love you. That's because
Exactly.
I want you to make that
Yes,
layup.
that's
Like
right.
I yell at my daughter. I love my daughter. I want her to be the best.
That's right.
So it's not. I'm not yelling. It's not
Mhm.
personal. I'm
Personal.
not degrading you.
Mhm.
We don't
Mhm.
do that. We
That's
don't do
right.
that in our program.
Yes,
We
I love it.
but we coach hard. Them pretty girls out.
Yeah, they cute.
Hey, they on the court. They're totally different person, but
Mhm.
it's still love.
Sure.
It's because we want you to be successful.
Successful and right.
Right.
And they want to be successful. I know
Yes.
they do.
Mhm.
They want to be successful. So how hard is it, or how challenging is it to bring players from different parts of the world, different backgrounds, different environment, atmosphere, bring the all together and to build a successful team or program? How hard is that, or how challenging is it?
So the hardest part is starting, because we walked into what they were already there,
Yes.
and so they were already set
Okay.
in a certain way,
Mhm.
and that wasn't our way.
Ooh.
So we had to make a decision. Either we come in and we go down to their level,
Right.
or we bring them up to our level.
Gotcha.
So and I had a couple of people say, "Hey, you gonna have to come down to their level." No, it's been a long time since I've been down.
Come down.
So I'm gonna reach my hand
That's
down,
right.
and the ones that
extend it.
want to come up, they're
I'll bring
gonna
them
come
up.
up. The ones that don't want to come up, they don't belong.
Yeah,
There. It's
exactly.
as simple as that.
That's right.
So, but now we have been able to recruit players
Hmm.
that fit our system.
Very good.
Now, you think, okay, I know what I'm walking into. I'm gonna
Hmm.
walk into it and it's gonna be easy.
Hmm.
It's never gonna
Hmm.
be easy.
Exactly.
But we recruit players that fit,
Hmm.
and so now they know the expectation.
Hmm.
They come in with the expectation.
Right.
There's not, and that's not negotiable.
That's
The
right.
the effort that you have to put in, that's not negotiable.
Right.
So that's who we are. That's tough.
That's right.
That's
That's
who we
tough.
are.
That's
We
right.
we we're gonna be who we say we are.
Yes.
So, and we
Yes.
have to teach them to be who we
Who
who
we
they're
are.
gonna be.
Uh
So,
huh. Uh huh.
we practice with consequence. We
Yes. Oh
but
wow.
and that's both on and off the court. If you're not
Exactly.
going to class, you're making a decision. Now,
Mm.
this is the consequence for you being late and not going to class. Do I
Exactly.
want to run you? No.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
But so you making the decision that this is what you want to do by laying up, sleep, oversleeping, or whatever. You better go to bed on time if you
That's
don't
right.
want this consequence.
That's right.
So, but the thing is that I've found is when you are, when you say you're gonna do something,
Yes.
you have to do
You
it,
need to do
and
it.
they will respect that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Even if it's something they don't want to do, they
That's
will
right.
respect it. And they're starting to learn to hold each other accountable because they don't want to run.
Accountability, and then you raise the standard, you raise the
Hmm.
bar, and everybody has to come up, no matter where they're from, no matter their background, no matter
Right.
what they've
Hmm.
had to go through or live through. You
Hmm.
set the bar, you set the standard, everybody's accountable, and everybody have to buy into
They
the
have to buy
standard that you
into it.
set.
But
That's
here's the
powerful.
thing: once you get the right people, your leaders
Uh-huh.
bought in,
Hmm.
everything just flows.
Flows.
And I hear a lot of people saying, "I don't have leaders." Well, you have to develop leaders.
Come on now,
You know,
they're not
you
born,
you
they
yeah.
have to be
So
developed.
I meet with the players, and sometimes the leaders may not be the sweet little people that you think are leaders. The
Right.
leaders are them trifling ones, but everybody listen to them.
They
You
sure
know
do.
what? They're
Yeah,
leading, but
yeah.
they're leading the wrong way.
That's
Now,
right.
how do you flip that and make
Hmm.
them lead for you? Once you can flip them and make them lead
Come
for
on
you,
now.
it's a beautiful
Come
thing.
on now.
It is a beautiful thing.
And
And
that's
it's
what you're
not
doing.
only help you,
Hmm.
it helps your team, it helps them too.
That's right. And
So,
everybody that's connected,
yeah,
actually,
yeah,
to continue to build on that. I love it. I love
absolutely.
it. So, how important is servitude to you and giving back to the community? I know
Oh,
you're about that.
all about that. Like I said, the community helped
Yes.
me.
Hmm.
I really believe in that, and I believe that we want this community, and we have been building. Our crowds are getting better.
Yes, they are.
Everything is getting better around Auburn women's basketball.
Yes,
There's
it
a
is.
lot of positivity, a lot of hype around Auburn
Yes.
women's basketball,
Hmm.
and I want them to see our players out there appreciating them
Yes.
as well. And
Yes.
and I want to teach our players that it's really important to give back. It's
Hmm.
really important
It
when you
is.
want something from somebody
Hmm.
else.
Hmm.
You got to start by giving.
That's right. You're
Um,
reaping what you sow.
you are reaping
So
what you
good,
sow.
you
So
reap
you
good.
plant them seeds. You want
They
them
gonna
you
come
want
up.
them to harvest. Absolutely. So yeah, that's always been important. That's who my mom, my
Uh-huh.
dad was. So that's something that's in me. So that's
Yes.
always gonna be
Mhm.
very important in any program I'm
Exactly.
around. Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I love giving back to the community too. So you guys continue to do that, and
Yeah. And
we
I
hope.
will say that's
Okay.
who Auburn is.
That's yes.
Like, you just feel that
Hmm.
spirit, that
Hmm.
Auburn spirit. People
Yes.
always say, the family atmosphere, or
Right.
you feel that, like, when you come to Auburn, that's just
Who
who
they are.
Auburn. That's who it is.
That's right.
The neighborhood.
Yeah. That's the neighborhood.
Like, you get
Exactly.
it in the neighborhood, you get it on campus.
Campus.
You get it from the top to the back, the administration. Like, that's
Yes.
just who Auburn is. So
Hmm.
it's not
Hmm.
a front.
That's right. It's the core. Let's go
Yeah.
back to the core.
Hmm.
The core value. Well, I know that's true because I remember last year, I'm a part of Juneteenth with Miss Connie Taylor,
Yeah.
and I was a part of her the team to putting everything together last year
Hmm.
and this year as well. And I went last year. I came down to Keisa Parks, and guess lo and behold, guess who was there?
My team.
Your team was
Yes.
there, and so they helped me get all the water out of the
Hmm.
car and helped me take it to the pavilion where it was needed. So they were there, they were working, they wasn't just
Oh,
standing
yeah.
around, they were working. And I needed help with the water that I had,
Hmm.
said that I was going to bring in the other items, but they walked to the car, we talked, and We had, they were really nice and friendly,
Yeah.
and they helped me, when I was in need. So but they were there for the whole event to give back
Hmm.
to the community. They wasn't
They
there to just sign an
were.
autograph. They were helping.
I know
They were
that, and that
working.
was one of the most amazing events because I got a chance to sit back
Mhm.
and watch them. Like if they saw somebody putting up a tent, they would
Oh,
go,
yeah.
and I didn't have to tell them go
Yeah,
help this
that's
person.
right.
Like because you want to see
Hmm.
what who you need to help the most, who's going to be your leaders and all that. Like
Yes.
those girls went out there and they were amazing.
They
And
sure
so I
were. I
was, you
missed them
talking
this
about
year. Yeah,
proud.
yeah, I know you
I
were
was so
proud.
proud. Yeah.
Yes, I missed them this year, but I think they had a lot going on.
Hmm.
I think Miss kind of reached out, but I was just so overwhelmed with joy to see them, and so hopefully we can do something together. Well, I know you guys had a great year this year, so great. Y'all went to the
We went to the NCAA tournament.
right,
Hmm.
right, and
Yeah.
y'all. I think what level did y'all?
So we lost in the we lost in the
Oh,
we were in the playing game and we lost that first game. But
that's right. But you
yeah,
got there.
we did
Yeah,
get
you
there.
got there
Yeah.
and did had a great season. So
Hmm.
how hungry are you guys for a championship?
You know, I'm really hungry.
Hungry. Let's eat
I
then.
can tell you, me and my staff are hungry, and our players, you know, they are working extremely hard.
Yes.
And normally this is the time when you come back, you're trying to get them in shape, you're
Hmm.
trying to get them to get in the gym extra. Like we're not
Hmm.
having to tell them to do that.
They
They know
automatic.
they got a feel for what it takes,
Hmm.
and they don't want to lose early.
Oh wow.
They want to do a little bit more. We
Hmm.
lost a few games that
Hmm.
we know we shouldn't have lost, or we would have been in even better position. And they
Right.
want to, and it was little things. We talk to them about the little things. We
Yeah.
have a thought of the day every day, and they have to get up and read it and tell what it means.
Hmm.
And we're putting a little bit more thought into our thoughts of the day.
Okay.
So because what you give them is what they're gonna pour back out.
That's
And
right.
so that I think they're getting it. I
Hmm.
think they're getting it. I think they're understanding that in order to reap this benefit,
That's right.
I got to plant these seeds
Come
right
on
now.
now.
So they're going to work.
That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Well, we're going to be expecting great things from AU women's basketball this year, and I'm
Thank you.
excited. We will be at some of the games, and we want you guys to be champions. We want you guys to continue to work hard and put all the effort in the training and whatever you need to make that happen. And we have the right person in charge, and that's Coach J, Coach Johnnie Harris. So, listen, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule
Thank
to
you.
come and sit and talk with us on the You Better Say That talk show. It meant the world to me that you said yes.
Thank you. And I had an amazing time. I mean, I really enjoyed, talking about my program,
Mhm.
letting people know that it's more than about basketball. For
Mhm.
us, it is more
Yes.
than about basketball.
Mhm.
The fact that we win, I think that's because
It's
you when you
exciting.
do the little things right,
Uh-huh.
you get that opportunity. But, at the end of the day, we want to make sure that they're ready for the real world.
Exactly.
And so I really appreciate the support we have been getting from Auburn, from this Auburn fan base, the
Yes. The
community. Our
community.
students are coming out, and I'm telling you, the way we play,
Mhm.
you know, our kids play hungry.
Yes, they do.
And nobody wants to come in here and play us. And
Mhm.
when we have that fan base out there, when
Yes.
you guys are there, oh my God, it just makes it even more intimidating.
Yes.
And that's the atmosphere we want to create
Mhm.
every day. And when
Yes.
our players know that they have that fan base, they know
Mhm.
that they have those students around them.
Mhm.
Uh, that just makes them go even harder.
Yes. Yes. I mean, because I tell you, when we came to that LSU game, we were on fire. This girl was on fire. So they were on fire. Those girls were on fire, and they won, and it was just amazing. We took a picture, and you was drenched because they had
I
put
was.
water on your Gatorade or whatever it is that you do. But it was so fun to just watch that game, and it was just a joy to be there. So listen,
Thank you.
that's the end of our journey
Thank
on the
you.
talk show today. Thank you again for coming. You can check us out on the You Better Say That Facebook page and the You Better Say That YouTube channel. Anytime you want to go over, like, share, and subscribe to that channel. And till next time, we'll see you. You better